I want to support Taylor in her chaos. Taylor Swift is releasing her 10th studio album on October 21st and it is called Midnights. I also did like a little reaction kind of video to her announcing it because it was announced at 5 AM in the UK, so I was very, very sleepy. But you can check that video out now. It's been a success. I want to talk about some of my personal theories, what I think Midnights will be like, because so far we pretty much know nothing. We've had the album cover and then we've also had 3 limited edition covers, but other than that we don't know anything. There are 13 tracks and at the moment they're all described as track 1, track 2, track 3, but we presume that they will have like actual names and they're not just track 1, track 2, track 3, but some people do think that's what they're going to be called, so who knows? So, a lot of people think Taylor's like announcement post contained lots of Easter eggs, and I imagine that it did. I imagine in that little like announcement post there were loads of the album titles. So people have lots of different theories about what the album titles are going to be. Some people think they're just going to be track 1, track 2, track 3, whereas other people think they could be different times of the evening. Really? Who knows? One of the theories pretty much everyone kind of agrees on is that the album is split up into 2 because it has side A and side B. My theory that the 2 sides are probably like Nightmares as the first ones and then I imagine Sweet Dreams as the second ones. These things are about waking up in the middle of the night, being awake in the middle of the night, and I think it makes kind of sense because at the night you're usually dreaming, and I think these are kind of 2 opposing things that could kind of complement each other very well. That's my personal opinion. Obviously, if we're talking about Taylor Swift album theories, people will bring up the Lover House. I don't think the Lover House is as deep as people think it is. I think it just looked nice. Maybe the colours correspond to the albums, but honestly, leave the house. The house is gone. Like, wow. People think Midnights is the outside of the house now. So we've left the actual house and we've expanded. And I just think we should let the house go. It's just like everyone uses it as the Easter eggs. It's like, let's go back to this house. And I think Taylor's already forgotten about this house. So yeah, I don't think the album really has anything to do with the Lover House. One of my theories, I think a few people kind of agree on this, is basically, I think one of the songs is going to be about the VMAs incident in 2009. And I think this for a variety of different reasons. One of them is because the album was announced at the VMAs, and I think that's just kind of like a huge clue. So I think we're either going to get it about the VMAs incident or maybe more Reputation kind of era, maybe the reaction after Kim leaked and edited the phone call, maybe even after the VMAs when Kanye accepted that award and when he begged Taylor to like present him the award and he was like, oh, the MTV like organised this to make her present me award, and she was like, it didn't happen. I think one of these 3. I think it's going to be one of these 3 things. Maybe all 3, maybe none of them, but I do think her announcing it at the VMAs was not a coincidence. I think that was such a huge, you know, turning point. It was such a huge moment, an awful one for her, and I think it's going to be kind of addressed in this, because really she hasn't really properly like addressed the emotions, I don't think. I think Reputation, a lot of people view it as this like album, like she's edgy, whatever, but a lot of it's about love, you know, not a lot of it is about the sadness, I don't think. So I think maybe more about how she actually felt during those times. Obviously we've got Innocent and stuff, but maybe now she looks back, she's obviously probably re-recorded Innocent at this point. Is she thinking like, you know, shouldn't have recorded that, you know, shouldn't have said that, like, I can't believe I forgave this man who later betrayed me. Like, there are just lots of different theories about it, but I definitely think it must have something to do with these. I think, especially because she's got the phone in her hand, I think that could be kind of about the phone call. Maybe there's going to be one about how she felt after she had that phone call. Who knows? The running theme with Taylor's past 2 albums has been about her losing her masters. With My Tears Ricochet and It's Time to Go, these are kind of big things about her masters, and I think maybe one of the albums, there's no real kind of reasoning for this other than she's references in the past, is about her losing her masters, because that was obviously a very, very big thing for Taylor, and I do think that could have some impact, maybe. I think maybe she'll reference it on it. Maybe she'll reference the time she realised, oh, I'm gonna have to let this go. I think she doesn't really talk about that as much, I don't think, because basically Big Machine offered that she could get her masters back if she recorded a new album for every old album, and I think maybe when she rejected that choice, because obviously it wasn't really the best one in the world, was it, she may have regretted it and thought, you know, was this the right thing to do? And maybe there was like a midnight kind of breakdown over it, and maybe she talks about that. I'm just thinking because she has talked about her masters before, and obviously this is a big thing that's impacted her. I also think so the Evermore photo shoot and the Red photo shoot were pretty much done around a similar time. In fact, some of the Evermore photo shoot has like some of the red outfit in, I think. And I think you get a lot of red themes in Evermore. I think because she was probably re-recording around the same times, I think a lot of the emotions that came from Red that she was kind of now re-exploring kind of are brought up in Evermore, especially with Tolerate It, I think. I think a lot of them just kind of give those vibes, if you know what I'm saying. Obviously, I could be completely wrong, this is all theories, but maybe whatever album she's been re-recording has inspired Midnight. So we don't know what she's been re-recording at the moment. The theories are Speak Now and 1989, so maybe it's kind of a mix between the two. But again, there's nothing confirmed. On one of the limited edition covers, Taylor's is next to this piano, and everyone's like, oh, it's like this old piano, so a lot of people think the music is going to be inspired by 70s. And if it is inspired by like 70s music, maybe it'll be as iconic as, you know, 1989 that was inspired by 80s music. 1989 was a huge era. People were obsessed with that album, me included, so maybe it could be kind of something similar to that. You know, she's exploring music from a previous decade, like she's done with 1989, so maybe the re-recordings are kind of inspiring her to do different things. Some people also think the tracks aren't new, that she hasn't written these recently. I personally disagree with this, but basically people think the numbers on the clock, you know, all the teasing clocks, are representing each of the previous albums, and that these are vault songs from those albums. I personally disagree with that. I don't think they are old songs that she's bringing back, because she's doing that with the re-records. I think these are brand new songs about old periods in her life. Some of this stuff we may know, you know, some of these like stories we may know, and a lot of this stuff maybe we'll find out new things about Taylor potentially, you know, new things, new developments, because I think that does happen a lot with her albums. You know, we kind of find little puzzle pieces into her life, because she is quite a private person and her music is kind of how we find things out about her. So maybe she wants to reveal new things, who knows, but I do not think these are old songs. I think these are brand new songs. Would it even be a new Taylor Swift album if someone doesn't say, this is Karma? So basically, if you don't know, people think Karma is the scrapped album between 1989 and Reputation. People think Taylor was going to release an album after 1989 that was basically called Karma. They think it was this scrapped album, and like Bleach Shallow was kind of like the teasers for it. And then with the whole Kanye and Kim thing, it was scrapped. People think like there's all sorts of teasers in the Look What You Made Me Do video. People are always talking about it, and all I want to say is I don't think Karma ever existed. I'm sorry. I really, really don't think Karma was ever a thing. I think she always planned to take a break, like, from music after 1989. I think at the iHeartRadio Awards, before the whole Kanye and Kim thing happened again, she said that this will be her last award show for a while. I think she was always planning to take a break, because the 1989 tour was so heavy, you know, there was so much marketing around it. You know, she'd done this huge world tour, she was doing so many interviews. I definitely think she needed a break after it. So I don't think Karma ever existed, I'm sorry. And I don't think Midnights is Karma. I do think we need to let Karma go. Like Lullaby House, Karma's gone. So, because Taylor announced it at the VMAs, she was wearing a dress like diamondy, that kind of looked like the bathtub scene in Look What You Made Me Do. I don't know if this album has anything to do with the previous albums, but I can imagine maybe it's kind of like paying tribute to what caused, you know, what started Reputation, the stories that started Reputation, but I don't know. But I do think the diamonds must mean something. She also has sparkly eyeshadow on in the cover, so maybe it means something. Who knows? Finish this with a few of the like nights and a few of the stories I would like to be talked about in the album, just so we can kind of know a bit more about them. And I'm going to start off strong with the the Met Gala in 2016. It just seemed to be a very chaotic night. We know pretty much nothing about it apart from the fact it was chaos. Obviously, Taylor was with Calvin and she met Tom Hiddleston and they danced together, and then she saw Joe Alwyn there for the first time, so who knows what happened. And I would love to know kind of more about this, you know, maybe her wearing the dress that was kind of like the Look What You Made Me Do music video bathtub scene is kind of like, oh, this is like gorgeous, you know, this is like Reputation has Gorgeous on, that's kind of about the first time that Taylor saw Joe. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just really hoping that she comes back to that, because I think it was so chaotic. I know it was chaotic. I know nothing about it, but I know it was chaotic, and I want to support Taylor in her chaos. I think we're gonna get something again about Kanye and Kim. I don't know what it'll be. I don't know if it'll be the original VMAs incident, whether it'll be the incident when Kanye like received the award and she kind of realised that she'd forgiven this man and then he betrayed her, or if it'll be about the reaction to the phone call. Who knows? But I think something must be. I just don't think she would have like teased it at the VMAs, because otherwise she could have done a surprise drop, because personally I'm not sure if we'll get a lead single. I don't know, maybe we will, maybe we will, maybe we won't, but I don't think we'll get a lead single, so yeah, we'll see. I'd love if the album theory is true about some of them being nightmares, some of them being sweet dreams. I'd love to know maybe more about Taylor and Joe, you know, about their anniversary or whatever. Just because it's nice. Taylor's love songs are always really nice, like Lover is a beautiful song. So things like that I'm always happy to listen to. The one, maybe she'll talk about, I think I referenced this earlier in the video, maybe she'll talk about like deciding not to go with Big Machine. Maybe she'll also talk about losing her masters the day she found out she lost them. Maybe she couldn't sleep that night. Maybe she'll do a song, and this would be quite a good one, about her decision to re-record her previous albums, because obviously it was not a decision that was taken lightly. Like, it would take a lot of Taylor's time up, and she's already a very busy woman, and how many albums has she released recently? So yeah, I do think maybe that would be an interesting thing to explore, being like, you know, what are the pros and what are the cons of this, you know, and then have I made the right decision? That would be an interesting one to explore, I think, just because I think there's so many emotions that Taylor has around all of the Masters drama, so I would really, really like to kind of know more about that, because I think it's interesting and gives people more, I think having the songs about it kind of gives people more of a reason to listen to Taylor's version, you know, like personally I always listen to Taylor's version, but I know a lot of people kind of still listen to the old versions because they don't know kind of like the in-depth story, whereas a lot of Swifties do know the in-depth story because we've kind of researched it and stuff. So it'd be nice if she did a song about it so people could listen to that and be like, oh, this is why I should listen to Taylor's version and not the stolen versions. But yeah, these are some of the theories that are going around, and then some of my personal theories. Again, we know basically nothing about this album. I cannot stress that enough. These are just some of the things that I think and I hope kind of happen. Either way, I know I love it. And excitingly, I've got a couple of the vinyls coming because I ordered them. So I'll be doing an unboxing of them, hopefully October 21st, but we'll see. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you do not miss that, because I cannot wait. Have a fantastic day, and let me know in the comments if you have any other Midnights theories, because I would love to hear them.